This computer terminal provides full access to the L-Cars computer net.
Greetings, welcome to the L-Cars ADV Subspace channel. Welcome aboard. Well, today we're going to do a walk around and initial impressions of the brand new 23 GPX tse300r. All right, let's get going on this. My overall impressions are wow. This seems like an amazing bike. I'm very impressed. Just from putting her together and just the initial build quality impressions are amazing. I'm really, really impressed of the build quality of this bike. I have had 4 GPX bikes and all of them were great. And I can see from year to year the build quality improvements. Honestly, it's always been great, but it's just the little things you can see that are just better and better each year, and they have hit the ball out of the park on this brand now. They have fine-tuned every single part of these bikes down to the bolts and the nuts, and there are no cheap parts on these bikes. So well, yeah, I am very, very impressed with the build quality of this bike, putting it together, and that's what's great about putting these bikes together is you get to see it firsthand. Let's go over the changes that I have seen that some are new for this year. I did not have a 22 model, so some of those might be overlapping a little bit. But so let's start off with the seat. Holy cow, this seat is nice. This is really, really premium. This essentially is a seat concepts seat. It is really, really nice, very comfortable. But yeah, awesome new feature. Next, we'll go over the kickstand. It is a new kickstand design. It is really, really nice. It has a bushing and O-ring, and the assembly is just way better, and it just fits very nicely compared to the previous model years, but definitely a nice upgrade for the kickstand. Another new feature is the tapped bar ends, which comes in real handy when you want to put your own full wraparound handguards on. But yeah, that's nice. You don't have to have an anchor in there anymore. You got a nice tap in there and screw a bolt right in there, and voila, your handguards are on. Very nice new feature. Another new feature, I'm not sure if it's just for this bike, but a new shifter. It's really, really light and great feeling. Very impressed with the shifter this year. In previous years, we had just a big hunk of aluminum that wasn't probably very pliable, which you kind of want a little, pliability, is that a word? In case you crash or something, you want the metal to bend, or, so you don't, bust your, whatever that engine mount is. Also, yeah, the frame is amazing. The quality this year, I'm loving the powder coating on the frame this year. I don't know, it's hard to see, but it is really, really nice. Great welds on the frame. It's really nice to see that. The frames are always good, but nice to know they upped the ante on the powder coating of the frame. Really, really, really happy to see that. Very, very nice looking. And we got some new forks for this year. SEZ again, but it looks like it's pretty much, I want to say it's very similar to the KTM forks. I'm not sure if the internals are the same or not, but yeah, so we got some new forks for this year. I'm sure they're great. The SEC suspension is actually very, very good, very comparable to the WP. And looky, this year we got a non-linkage option, which I think is freaking awesome. So you still can get the linkage option for the 300R, or I don't know if it's a 300L, whatever, but it's nice to have the non-linkage option. So if you're hopping over logs and get some little more ground clearance, I think that's a great feature. And finally, we got a new petcock on the tank. In previous years, it used to kind of hang out a little more past here where, if you could catch it on a branch or something, it could potentially rip it off or whatever. But nice to know they finally tucked it in more closer to the engine, and we got a brand new petcock too, so that is great to see as well. And we got a new hour meter for this year, which that's also a great feature to have, especially on a two-stroke. And the tires. Now I can definitely tell from this tire here that it's definitely a softer compound than it has been in the past years. So, which I like the softer compound tires for traction, so I think that's great too. Okay, let's go over the features of the bike. And obviously this year we have a brand new 300cc two-stroke engine based off a 2017 KTM design. And from what I hear from Meg's Brap, I hear it's pretty dang awesome, so which is no surprise because I rode Everride's bike, which has this pretty much same engine, and it's an amazing engine. So very, very excited to get going on that. And we got a 40 millimeter. It says Nibby on it, but it is basically the Mikuni version, that similar to the ones that come on the KTMs. Jury's still out on this one, so I'm not sure why they stuck a 40 millimeter on there. The 38 is the one that usually came with this engine. But as I said, the jury's still out on this carb. I hear it's very difficult to tune, so we'll give an update on that. The SEC brakes that come with these bikes, I think they're based off of Brembo design or something like that, but these brakes on the bikes are amazing on all the models. They're all the same brake calipers, but they are amazing brakes. Very, very powerful, very modulating, just very controllable. It's some of the best brakes I've ever had on a dirt bike. So they will not let you down for sure. Okay, let's talk about these rims. These Enduro X Series rims are freaking awesome. They are pretty much Warp 9 rims. Very, very awesome. Good quality spokes that come with them, and the hubs are billet, so that is awesome to see. So yeah, really a big fan of these rims. Very, very nice. And another awesome feature of all the GPX bikes is the billet parts you get on the bike. So you got the billet triple clamps, which are awesome. You got the billet hubs, got the billet foot pegs. So yeah, there's lots of billet parts on these bikes. Very good quality, very light, and just one of those premium features you get on these bikes that are also great to see. And then we'll go over, it has an aluminum subframe. I know in the first couple of years they had the plastic ones. And then we got some radiators there. We got I don't know if you can see it, but you got a radiator fan down there, which is nice. And you got a little recovery tank right there. This is good to have when you start to get a little hot. You got a super bright LED headlight. These headlights are freaking awesome. So even the KTMs were not coming with LED headlights, which is a joke. So these bikes have had LED headlights forever now, but really, really good headlights. I don't have them on now, but it does come with some flag type handguards on the bike already. So it's good for some basic stuff, but I change those out to full wraparound for the type of riding that I do. So yeah, but another great feature to come with the bike. Another thing that comes with the bike is a skid plate, which is not on, it's right there, but that's another great thing that comes with these bikes. So you're definitely gonna need a skid plate. Another thing that comes with all the GPX bikes is an O-ring chain, which these chains are awesome. They last a really long time, great quality, and yeah, they didn't cheap out on the chains at all. Another nice new feature for the 300R is the addition of the hydraulic clutch. Oh yeah, it is so light feeling. Man, that is going to be great on the trails. You're not going to get any fatigue from this. This is, oh, so nice. But yeah, the hydraulic clutch is going to be amazing. All the GPX bikes come with a 2.5 gallon fuel tank. The 300R is premix. You get a nice front brake disc guard, which comes in handy if you're in the rocks a lot, especially. Okay, we'll do some more walking around now. But another thing I wanted to talk about was how light the bike feels. I haven't ridden on the trails yet, but you can noticeably feel the lightness of this bike, especially when I put it on a stand. It's just easy to pick up. It's wow, I just can't believe it. That is going to be a real treat on the trails, and I'm really excited to get going on this bike. I wish it weren't winter right now. But like I said, this is my 4th GPX bike. I have loved every single one of them, starting with my tse300r, which was a great engine as well. But these GPX bikes are really good value. I know they've gone up in price over the years, but what hasn't, obviously, but they're still a great value. Really impressed with the build quality and the features they include stock on the bike. I honestly had a hard time figuring out what add-ons to get for the bike, which is a good thing. But yeah, I've had such awesome experiences with this brand so far. I have literally beat the tar out of all of them, and they just keep going. The engines are super reliable. Parts aren't breaking. Parts, there's just no cheapness about this brand. So this really breaks the mold with the Chinese stereotype. The only parts that I break are when I crash, my plastics when I bash into a tree or something like that. But yeah, this brand it's come a long way from its kind of humble beginnings, but it definitely year by year they've improved upon stuff and tweaked it and taken customer feedback and the Gary's feedback from GPX, and just year by year just improved even the smallest parts of the bike, which you don't see. A lot of manufacturers, they just go with it and they don't really update anything, but it's great to see this manufacturer just going all out, and they really are a contender for, if you don't want to spend $12,000 or $11,000 on a KTM, Husqvarna, or whatnot, this is the way to go. It's going to get you 85-90% there. And if you've seen my mediocre riding in my videos, you'll see that, the only thing holding me back is myself. The bike is not holding me back. I keep up with all the expensive bikes just fine. That's why I'm looking forward to this bike and to see what it can do. Not that I'm going to become a great rider just because I own this bike, but I'm going to be really happy to, get this on the trails and see what she's made of. But like I said, my experience with this brand has been nothing but positive. Gary from GPX is awesome. He stands behind his product, and you have issues, they take care of it and they make it right, which is good to see with the manufacturer. He's active on Facebook all the time, answering people's questions all the time, and you don't see that from owners very often or ever. So that is a refreshing thing to see, that the owner is involved with his customers. And oh, you know what, I forgot to mention this in the features. The dash that comes with the GPXs, or the LCD dash, whatever, it's freaking awesome. You get RPM, miles, odometer, battery. It's really great. This is one of the best dashes I've seen on a dirt bike ever. But yeah, so I hope that this walk around has been okay for you guys. Just give you a close-up of the bike in high definition, so I'll give you an idea of what you're looking at here. Okay, Elcars ADV, GPX fanboy, what don't you like about the bike? All right, you know what, it's not really, it's personal preference, really, things that I don't like. I can only think of a couple. I honestly am not a fan of the gray color on these bikes. I don't know, a lot of people like them, but I'm just not a fan of the gray. Maybe that comes from my being a Honda red lover, I don't know. But yeah, I think the UK GPX boys are going to help me out with that. I'm going to get some new decals probably. So the UK boys have created some awesome decals for these bikes. And the only other, I don't even know if it's a negative or not. We'll see about this carburetor. Everything I've read on this Mikuni carburetor for the KTM bikes or whatnot has been, they're really hard to tune. So, and they always dump it and go with a key-in carburetor, PWK instead, or the Electron. Yeah, we'll see how this carb shakes out. You know, I'm not saying it's a negative at all, but it could be a negative. I don't know. But I just wanted to point it out that a lot of KTM guys do change this out for a PWK. So I am told, I talked to that guy at the GPX shop, and they put a X-Ting smart carb in their demo unit, and he said it was freaking awesome. So maybe down the road I'll get one of those. I'm not ready to spend $450 on that quite yet, but maybe down the road. But yeah, not necessarily negative, but we'll see how that shakes out. And yeah, I think just maybe the only part where they probably cut corners on here was the skid plate here. This is the stock skid plate that fits all the GPX bikes, because all the frames are the same, but they literally just cut that off because there's no linkage, you know. So if this bike had linkage, they wouldn't have done anything, but they literally just cut that off. So I would have liked to see a custom skid plate for this non-linkage version of the bike. So honestly, those negatives aren't really bad, but there's more personal preference than anything. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, don't be afraid to post in the comments. And I'm active in the Facebook group community on the GPX page as well. So like I said, if you have any comments, don't be afraid to give a shout out. But yeah, I'm very, very impressed with this bike, and wow, she looks amazing. So yeah, like I said, I hope you guys get on a GPX bike soon, because they're all freaking awesome bikes. And I'll see you on the trails. Live long and ride.